In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on November 5th, 2022, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. Minnesota versus Nebraska. Minnesota will try to become bowl eligible when it faces Nebraska in a Big Ten matchup on Saturday afternoon. The Golden Gophers snapped their 3-game losing streak with a 31-0 win over Rutgers last week. Nebraska is coming off a 26-9 loss to then number 17 Illinois and needs 3 wins in its final 4 games to make a bowl appearance. Minnesota is 14-5-1 against the spread in their last 20 road games and 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 games against a team with a losing record, while the under is 3-1 in their last 5 games overall. Nebraska is 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 home games and 2-7 against the spread in their last 9 games overall, while the under is 4-1 in their last 5 games against a team with a winning record. The Cornhuskers have lost 4 of their last 6 games and 3 of their last 4 home games. They aren't very good offensively, but they have a good passing game that is 50th in the country. Unfortunately for them, the Golden Gophers have one of the best defenses in the country, giving up less than 15 points per game. They have the 21st ranked run defense and 5th best pass defense, so don't expect them to give up a lot of points to the Cornhuskers. The Golden Gophers have played well offensively thanks to a ground game that is 12th in the country and is averaging more than 220 yards per game. They are facing a Nebraska team that is 108th against the run and is giving up 200 rushing yards per game at home, so expect them to pound the ball on the ground. I get the case to be made for a home underdog in some spots, and Minnesota hasn't necessarily looked like a team that should be laying this many points. However, the Cornhuskers simply aren't built to stop a team like Minnesota with a porous defense at every level and one that has had a hard time stopping anyone this season. Minnesota still has a top 5 scoring defense and is 6th against the pass and 7th in total defense as well, and I think they find a way to rout this disappointing Nebraska team at home. Give me the Golden Gophers in a beatdown. So the Minnesota Golden Gophers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Golden Gophers are averaging 32 points per game and 22 points per game on the road. They average 29 points per game in their last 3 games against the Cornhuskers. They run the ball very well, and they're facing a defense that is one of the worst in the country against the run while giving up 31 points per game. So expect the Golden Gophers to hit their average in this game. The Cornhuskers are averaging 27 points per game and 28 points per game at home. They average 16 points per game in their last 3 games against the Golden Gophers. They will struggle to move the chains against Minnesota because the Golden Gophers have been dominant against the run and pass while holding opponents to 14 points per game. Minnesota is going to keep the ball on the ground here and really try to burn the clock. I also expect their defense is going to be strong, and Nebraska is going to really struggle to move the ball. Points are going to be very hard to come by in this game, and this is going to be a low-scoring game that will stay below the total. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Iowa versus Purdue. The Purdue Boilermakers play host to the Iowa Hawkeyes on Saturday afternoon in a crucial Big Ten showdown Ross-Ades Stadium. The Hawkeyes are coming off a win the last time out and are hoping that they can build some momentum going forward. For Purdue, their hopes of winning the division seem to be dwindling, but they know that they'll need a win in this one to put the pressure on those around them in the standings. Purdue has won 2 in a row in the series, including a 17-point win last season, in addition to having won 4 of the last 5 overall. For some reason, they seem to have quite a bit of confidence in this series, which they'll be hoping carries over into Saturday's home game. Iowa is 3-1 against the spread in their last 5 road games and 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games following an against the spread win. The over is 7-2 in Iowa's last 9 conference games. Purdue is 5-2 against the spread in their last 7 games following an against the spread loss and 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 games following a bye week. The over is 7-1 in Purdue's last 8 home games. The road team is 10-2 against the spread in these two teams' last 12 head-to-head meetings. The Iowa Hawkeyes look to get back over .500 on Saturday afternoon when they go on the road to battle the Purdue Boilermakers. Purdue has looked good at times, but their last contest against a struggling Wisconsin team suggests that they may still have some work to do. Their defense didn't really show up in that one, as has been the case for most of the season, allowing 30-plus points in half of their games so far. Iowa too has had troubles this year but hasn't been helped by a tough schedule. Regardless, the Hawkeye defense is still one of the best in the Big Ten, as Ohio State and Michigan have been the only opponents to manage more than 13 points against them. Even their offense decided to finally have a game last weekend, putting up a season-high 33 points on 393 total yards. This is easily the best defense that Purdue has faced up to this point, and while their numbers may be impressive on the surface, quarterback Aiden O'Connell has been quite mistake-prone with at least one interception in the last 5 games he's played. Iowa has forced 6 turnovers over the previous 3 contests and should be champing at the bit for an errant O'Connell pass. The only thing holding back the Hawkeyes is their lackluster offense, but the Boilermakers are bad enough defensively that Iowa should be able to carry over some of the momentum from last weekend. Iowa is 5-2 against the spread in their previous 7 contests and 3-1 in their last 4 true road games. Purdue has now failed to cover in back-to-back games and has covered at home just once in this campaign. The Hawkeyes may not quite pull off the upset, but they should be able to at least stay within striking distance. So the Iowa Hawkeyes to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Purdue has been fairly consistent offensively all season, but the Boilermakers have been held to 24 or fewer points in 2 of their last 4 outings. They've struggled at times to maintain a consistent ground game, along with having a problem keeping possession of the ball, whether running or passing. Iowa's disappointing defensive performance against Ohio State shouldn't worry anyone too much. They're still pretty legit. Scoring should be tough in this one for the Boilermakers. Iowa had an offensive outburst last week, but that came against arguably the worst team in the Big Ten in Northwestern. They've been held to 14 or fewer points in 5 of their other 7 matchups this year and still can't be trusted to do much of anything. Purdue's defense is also a top 20 unit against the run, which doesn't help their cause. The under is a healthy 6-3 in the Hawkeyes' last 9 games and should be the result here as well. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Texas Tech versus TCU. The Texas Tech Red Raiders will be trying to snap their 3-game road losing streak when they face the TCU Horned Frogs on Saturday afternoon. The Red Raiders are coming off a 45-17 loss to Baylor as 1.5-point favorites. The Horned Frogs are coming off a 41-31 win over West Virginia as 7-point favorites. TCU is 6-4 in its last 10 games against Texas Tech. The Raiders are 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 after an against-the-spread loss and 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 after a straight-up loss. Texas Tech is 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 on grass. Meanwhile, the Frogs are 4-0-1 against the spread in their last 5 after an against-the-spread win and 6-1-1 against the spread in their last 8 overall. TCU is 3-1-1 against the spread in their last 5 conference games. TCU has too much offense for the Texas Tech Red Raiders defense to contain. The Horned Frogs are 3rd in the nation in scoring with an average of 44 points per game and an average of 518.6 yards of total offense per game. Texas Tech is allowing an average of 217.9 yards passing and will face a TCU aerial attack that averages 300.8 yards per game passing, led by quarterback Max Duggan. TCU has covered the spread in 6 of the last 8 overall, and the Horned Frogs have covered the spread in 3 of the last 5 Big 12 games with 1 push. Texas Tech does not play as well on grass as on other surfaces, as the Red Raiders have failed to cover the spread in 4 of the last 5 on that surface. So the TCU Horned Frogs to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. In a game between 2 bad defenses and 1 explosive offense, the odds makers have set this total very high. With totals this high, both offenses either have to play perfectly or both defenses have to play terribly. TCU has an explosive offense that is scoring an average of 44 points per game and uses an aerial attack that averages over 300 yards per game, which produces drives that take less time off the clock and create more possessions for both teams. The total has finished over in 6 of TCU's last 7 games overall, and in each of the the last 4 that Horned Frogs have played at home. Texas Tech scores its share of points with an average of 34 points per game, and the Red Raiders are giving up nearly the same number at 29 points per game. Despite the misconception, the Big 12 has started playing defense in the last couple of seasons. Both of these teams allow less than 30 points per game, but it is not enough to keep this below the number. TCU has had 5 totals above 70 points this season and has hit the over in 4 of those 5 games this year. Both teams have hit the over in 6 of their 8 games this year. Do not be scared of this high total with the 3rd best offense in the country playing. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.